Well, as we have no other questions from the audience, I think we will continue to closing remarks at this point. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to give their closing remarks. And we will do those in the opposite order that we did the opening remarks. So we'll start at the far end with James Harris and then come this way towards me. So,
let's hope there's no alarms.
So James Harris, if you're ready, go ahead with your 2 minutes.
All right. Well, thank you. I over the course of getting ready for the election and preparing myself, educating myself, I've met with several members of the current board of directors and a director of a nearby fire protection district and the chief. And it's apparent that the fire protection district has an excellent reputation and offers an array of services beyond fire abatement. And it appears certainly that we are held in very high regard, as a number of people have said. However, the financial viability of the district is threatened if certain issues are not addressed. Specifically, compensation and benefits for the represented employees as well as the unrepresented employees. All of us should know what's going on at the Menlo Park City area as well as in Atherton and East Palo Alto. So these are issues that cannot be ignored any longer. And I think that the composition of the board needs to include people with business experience, people with experience in dealing with financial matters and financial plans, and have a experience in how to control these costs and achieve a thought-out plan of where we want to go. As I tried to say in my opening remark, the revenue in this district has increased about 5% a year over the last 5 years, whereas the expenditures have increased about 8.9% a year. This is clearly a red flag. And if you look at our neighbors, most of our neighbors are below this. All of our neighbors are below this rate of increase. Thank you.
Thanks very much. And next we will go to Robert Silano.
Thank you. As in my opening statement, I spoke of the 3 C's. They are community service, contract, and costs. As the community, our current board has done a fine job for our cities and town. We have a budget in the black. We have high reserves. Presently, we have an average 4-minute response time for calls for service. Yet we must consider, with over 100 full-time employees, we critically need a full-time HR manager. As to contract, our firefighters have been without a contract ongoing 3 years. We must get the fire district management and Firefighters Association back to the table and resolve these issues as soon as possible. As to costs, we need to consider consolidation of services, use outside contractors. An example would be in training. We can contract our training to outside contractors at great savings and elimination of district staff and administrative positions. Training is so important to us because it affects the premiums that we pay for insurance and helps reduce injuries to our firefighters. This reduction in injuries can save the district money. We need to review and consider the reduction of high leave balances for district employees. You all remember just recently Menlo Park was in the black, now it's in the red because of the high leave bank that they have. We need to consider soliciting businesses in our district as working partners. As Mr. Ataki, he's a representative of BENS, which is the Business Executives for National Security. That's a very good resource. We must get involved in our cities and towns in our district, be in the planning and execution stages on the developmental projects. We need to be more aggressive in obtaining state and federal grants. We need to get CalPERS on. At this time, I'd like to thank the outgoing directors, Ollie Brown and Peter Carpenter, for their dedication to service to the district and community. Once again, thank you.
Thanks very much. Jon Mosby.
Wow, what an evening. We've covered many topics, and I am committed to continue to serve our firefighters and the district to the very best of my ability. I guess one of my endorsers says it best. She's a retired school teacher. I have known Jon to be honest, loyal, upstanding citizen. He's had a good sense of humor and always has a positive way of handling a sticky situation. He likes to laugh and get others to laugh. I highly recommend Jon for any responsible type of work. He takes his responsibility very seriously. Another CERT and BlackBerry React member wrote, I definitely endorse Jon for the position of the Board of Directors of the Menlo Park Fire Protection District. As long as I have known Jon in BlackBerry React and Scaries, which is an amateur radio group, and the Menlo Park CERT program, he has consistently been not only an excellent leader and team player, but also ever supportive by giving his time to assist organizations with training needs for both groups and individuals. With Jon's experience and sound judgment, we will all be in good hands with him on the Board of Directors of the Menlo Park Fire Protection District. I hope other people see me in that light also. I have, in my electronics career, managed million-dollar budgets. I have raised 5 children in the 35 years that I have lived in this district, all very successfully and supportive of what I'm doing. And I would like to mention the retired senior and volunteer program, which I think will be an asset to the Menlo Park Fire District. It's a group of volunteers that have retired from their professions, and they're available.
Thank you, Mr. Mosby. And Mr. Nachtsheim.
Thank you. When I was at Intel, we used to talk about things called strategic inflection points, which was a fancy technical word for when sea changes happen. And I think the district is looking at kind of a sea change in the sense that I don't think the next 10 years will be like the last 10 years in terms of revenue and growth in property taxes and things like that. Which means that all of the conversation we've had tonight about fiscal planning and figuring out what the next strategic plan is pretty important. Having said that, and having sat through almost 90 minutes of this, I think that the public ought to recognize that we have a good administration in this fire district, one best in the nation. I'd like to compliment the candidates because there are 6 candidates for 3 positions, and I think that's really good community involvement. And the audience did a good job asking hard questions. So while there's a bunch of problems to be solved, I think the combination of what we have as a fire district, the people running for this board, and the community involvement bodes well for where we can go with this district over the next 5 or 10 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Jack Nelson.
In my closing statement, this is sort of a juggling act between trying to balance the budget, reestablish our relationship with the union, being able to maintain the high standards of service which our diverse residents have come to expect, to be able to operate within our budget, to be able to keep up with disaster preparedness at the neighborhood levels through the CERT program, through public education. It's going to be tough, and like Steve just said, the last 10 years aren't going to be the next 10 years. As a matter of fact, the last 10 years right now we're in that transition period of what the next 10 years are going to be. So we're sort of in a void now. If we can when we get through this void, again, going back to the contract, which I hate to mention, the reestablishment again of trust and integrity between the board and the union, I think we're on our way. We have excellent candidates here. Our compliments to all the sitting board members now. Our compliments to the executive staff, to the chief. They've done a magnificent job. They've had a very, very difficult time in doing this. I think the new board, whomever it may be, they get in here with out-of-the-box thinking, no predetermined personality issues, keeping everything separate, keeping personalities out, coming in with good business sense. I think that we can resolve these issues, be able to move forward.
Thank you. And finally, Rexford Ianson.
From my standpoint of view, I agree. I think we have pretty good candidates. It's good diversity. I think that's one of the things that's been good about the boards in the past. There is diversity. We have people from business. I also think that, in a way, having a retired firefighter. We've had 2 of them that are on the board before. I think it gives you a little bit of an insight into when you start thinking about budgets, strategic planning, labor relations, JPA agreements, consolidation. It's nice to have somebody who is familiar with the history that can actually look at some of those things and say, this may be the immediate effect, but what's the long-term effect? I kind of think I would like to think that I bring that to the board, because having lived through that, you kind of have an idea that what you do today, what's going to be the long-term effect down the road. And sometimes it's not quite obvious. I think having a firefighting background combined with the business community of the people that are familiar with that come out of the business community, I think it gives you a balanced board. Because if they have questions that they don't understand, they have somebody they can go to besides the administration. They're more than willing to, but it gives them a chance to take a look at a much broader and a much more rounded picture than just from their standpoint of view. I look at the people that have financial backgrounds as a plus. Right now on our board, we have people that come out of the financial with a background that understand the budget much better than I do. But I also, in turn, get questions from them about how does this affect the fire district or the people that are in the street. I think the whole thrust is to provide the best service within the budget that we have right now to the people that are out there. We've done that in the past, and I think that a balanced board can do it in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Ianson. Well, I would like to sincerely thank all of our candidates for your willingness to serve the public by running for office, and also for your thoughtful participation this evening in our forum. And I'd like to thank all of you in the audience also for your questions that you submitted and for your attendance this evening. In addition to attending this forum, I want to put one more plug in for the League's election website, smartvoter.org, where you will find information not only about these candidates, but candidates for all the local races that are relevant to your specific ballot, as well as local ballot measures. If you're interested in participating in the sort of work the League does, what we call hands-on work to support democracy, we are always interested in new members, and we invite you to take a look at some of the League literature that we have in the back of the room, or certainly visit our website, which is LWVSSMC.org. That stands for League of Women Voters of South San Mateo County, LWVSSMC.org. And finally, I would like to thank our League volunteers who have assisted this evening. Our timekeeper, Joanne Brueggemann, our question sorter, Suzanne Boucher, and especially our Candidates Forum coordinator, Debbie Mayo, who's made this forum. So this concludes our Candidates Forum. Thank you very much and good night.
Well, thank you. Thank you.